Behind me in this garage is a car that's truly special. This is no ordinary car. It's a piece of history, a true icon of American muscle. Introduced in 1967, this car quickly became a symbol of true performance, luxury, and style. 1968 was the year the car not only looked like a dream, but drove like one, offering incredible options for performance enthusiasts. Wait, so you think you know what kind of car it is? Comment down below and let me know what you think. But this one's special. Unlike many of its kind, this car is waiting to be reborn. The engine and transmission are currently missing in this thing, and that means it's an opportunity for someone like me to bring some life back into this thing. This here is a 1968 Firebird. It's got the convertible top there, and it hasn't probably seen the road in 30 years. Now the hood's already missing here and some work's already been done. There's more to the story there. The guy that actually owns this car reached out to me and said, hey, get it to run and drive for me. So that's what I'm doing. And as you can see, we'll get you in here. There's no motor in it or a transmission. Sad part is I didn't take this thing apart, so I have no clue where anything is, or if we even have the stuff we need. So that ought to get interesting. So first things first, I have to go through, and I'm just going to give it a little paint on some of this frame and stuff because it's a little rusted. And then we're going to put the transmission in it, and then we got a motor to put in it over there. I have no idea what parts we have and what parts we don't. I mean, I know the basic stuff. I know we have a trans. It's right there. I know we have a motor. It's right over there. The motor's freshly rebuilt, so that's good. But that's about the end of it. Oh, I know where the radiator is too. Have you guys take a look here. So as you can see, there's no motor or transmission in this. Like I said, I wanted to get a little bit of paint on some of this here to kind of help the rust. Now, of course, it's not going to do much down there because this is just going to have to be replaced at some point. That side's not looking too bad, but just, you know, if you're going to put a nice engine in it, might as well paint that a little bit. So we got to scuff that up a little bit, get rid of some of that surface rust on it. I already kind of hit it with the power washer there to clean it up. Then we're just going to give it a little paint job to at least keep that from rusting anymore. Now, as you can see, the car is far from perfect. There's definitely some rust all over it. Got rust on the fenders, rust on the rocker panels, even on the quarter panels. And there's rust everywhere else, let's just put it that way. Now, I'm not doing any of the body work, but as you can see, it does need to be done at some point. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Let's get inside here and see what we got here. First thing I want to take a look at is how these floorboards look. I can't really see any light through that, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It says it has 81,000 miles on it. Looking at the brake pedal there and gas pedal, I'd say it's probably closer to 181,000. But the seat looks pretty good. I'm sure someone had that reupholstered. So we got a transmission right there. Don't worry, that's not the torque converter for it. Torque converter's still in it. That one's actually out of a 4L60. So I got to get the flex plate put on this. This engine was completely rebuilt, been dynoed and everything. It's nothing built or anything, I guess you'd say. It's pretty stock besides a old Elderbrock Performer intake there. And then we got a brand new carburetor right there for it. And this MSD one wire or something distributor. I haven't actually seen that one before. The car I have has a MSD with the big old MSD ignition thing on the firewall. Yeah, everything's there as far as the engine goes is the main part. We got exhaust headers sitting over here, just regular, I guess, exhaust manifolds. Now I'm an old crusty starter, which we're going to try and talk him into getting a new one. And a little bucket of bolts, not a whole lot there. Cross member. There's the radiator just chilling over there. There's going to be a new fuel tank put in this, so we're going to have to mess with that. Because I guess the car has been sitting a really long time, like I said, and And there was gas in the gas tank. I don't think it has brakes, so if we do get it running, we're not going to be able to go far. Let's get going here. I'm going to start with just scuffing up some of this real quick, and then so I got the engine bay all painted up here. It looks pretty decent, a lot better than it did. If somebody ever wanted to go back through it and really do a full restoration on this, I'm sure they could sand it all down and paint it better. But this is going to get her going to town. Now, got the flex plate on there too. I had to order one. That was an issue. The other one was cracked, so I had to find a 166 tooth flex plate. Apparently, if you want a flex plate, you have to special order Pontiac stuff because no one has it. Now the next problem is the guy was just going to put on exhaust manifolds, no headers or nothing for now. He said he might do that later, but the issue is that it had this little heat valve thing. I'm not even sure what it does. It was closed. We got that open though. I think it heats up the engine quicker or something, so it can, I don't know, not be cold, whatever. And then we got these studs that have been cut off. It's the fun about not knowing what somebody else did before you start messing around with it, because these do not want to come out. So I got on the old interwebs and started looking for some exhaust headers, you know, some shorties or something. I'll tell you what, if you want something for a small block Chevy, not a problem. Even Ford stuff on there. Didn't really see much for Mopar. I wonder why that is. But I'm going to try, again, to heat this up some more and get the old vice grips on there. And hopefully we can get them bolts broke free and out of there so we can continue on with getting this engine put in this thing and getting this thing to at least, you know, make noise or something. Well, it's a glowing red now. Let's see if we can get this to cooperate. Oh, well, that didn't work. Son of a... Yeah. There's one. Now do I try to drill out that other side, try to weld a nut to it, and then just snap that off about 47 times, re-welding it, and not get anywhere? Or try and drill it? I'll drag the welder out. I mean, if you guys think so. Yeah, I think it's a 14 I welded on there. Alright. Oh, yep. Nope. That didn't work. Son of a... I think when it's hot would be better, but I think it's going to break the weld again. Like I said, I'm not that great at... Oh, yeah, oh, right. Oh. Well, I'll be... Huh. The weld held. Now, I tried welding this thing several times and had the same exact results. It just kept breaking and not working. So I finally managed to drill out the bolt that was broke off in that exhaust manifold. It was not fun. I had to go and get some more bits, and I burnt up all of them. And then I went to go put the other side on and realized I don't have enough bolts to put it on anyways. So that's great. No. I'm going to go ahead and try and get this motor put in here. Try and get it bolted to the transmission and the torque converter bolted to that flex plate. Get the motor mounts in. Okay. Oh, what in this shit? That is a long nose. I wonder how they got it out of there. So the thing I'm using to lift up the engine is called a cherry picker engine hoist. It wasn't quite long enough to reach into the engine bay to drop the engine in, so I'm going to have to take off the front bumper. How are you supposed to take this front bumper off? Dang it. Try and push it maybe like this, and lower it a little bit. Maybe I can go over this way more. Well, how did they even get it out of there? I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'll try. Just kind of go in there a little bit here. See if I can get some room. So we're about not yay far from the transmission yet. Well, taking that bumper off is quite the challenge. And it's only got about 400 bolts, 70 screws. So I was able to get the engine put in here. Now I got to hook up spark plug wires, hoses, fuel line. You got to get the fuel pump, the line from the tank to the fuel pump hooked up. I still have to get a fuel tank put in because the gas that was sitting in this one was pretty bad, and that tank is, well, it's pretty rusted. The fuel is pretty much varnish. Not good. It smells bad in there still too. So where I'm at now is just trying to custom make these spark plug wires because I guess that's how they do it now. It's been a while since I've had to put plug wires on a car like this, and now they just have you make your own. One size fits all kind of deal. Still got to hook up the vacuum to the transmission. I have to figure out a different air cleaner. I bought a 14-inch air cleaner, but I don't think it's going to clear with the hood, so probably going to have to maybe save that for last. Put the hood on and see how much clearance we really got for an air cleaner. Got a bunch of just little things to hook up. I was able to get the alternator hooked up. I got the positive battery cable hooked up to the starter. Starter's in, but I'm going to have to reroute the wire for the starter. And then there's a couple other wires on the starter to hook up. Probably going to have to figure out something different here because this thing just goes straight up. I don't think that's going to work. The radiator hose, I need an upper radiator hose for this. Only problem is, of course, you call shops and they don't have them. So that's good. But I'm going to call around a few other places, see if I can't get the upper radiator hose. Still got to figure out the power steering pump. So there's lots to do yet. Definitely lots to do yet. But the transmission's bolted up, the torque converter's bolted up, drive shaft's in. Got all that done. So that's some of the big stuff. That's the hard work, I guess, as far as laborious. Engine's got the motor mounts hooked up and everything. So we're good there. But like I said, there's still a lot to do. We got belts to do. Got to figure out the size for the belts. Got to do an oil change on it. Got to check the transmission fluid. Lots to do yet. So probably not waste any more time. Try and get these spark plug wires finished here. And go from there. So that's where we're at right now. Came with this neat little piece for crimping the spark plug end, the spark plug wire end that would clip onto the spark plug. So try to figure out kind of what area I want that in, what angle. And this deal, you're supposed to kind of stick your spark plug wire in there and use a blade to cut it to the right depth. Although it's not exactly the easiest. I've already found out that if I just take and bend it a little bit and then just slowly kind of cut into it until I get to the center where the electrode is. I think that's probably what you call it, the wire, I don't know. Once you get into there, kind of just keep rotating around slowly And seems to work to get your little wire off out there. Now it says to bend this and leave a little bit of stuff sticking out, so you have a little bit of a loop there. And I probably want this to go this way, so I'll probably bend it that way. I'll stick this on here, like so. And I'll give it just a little bit of a crimp already. Seems to help too. So when you stuff it in this tool here, it fits a little easier. And they want you to stick this in a vice clamp. So I don't have a vice clamp, so I just take these big channel locks and it just squishes it right down. So it seems to be okay. Yeah, there we go. Check it, reposition it a little bit. I'm getting a good clamp on there. Good crimp. There, that's pretty much it now. So this is all crimped on. Wire is nice and tucked back behind there on the metal. I'll take a little bit more of our WD here, so I can get that slid right up in there. And you know, I think I'm maybe doing this wrong on these boots. It showed you to push the wire all the way through, but I think I could probably just, let's see. I might regret doing that, but we'll see here. Hold on. See if I can just push it back on that way. If that's the case, oh yeah, then I'll just do that. It shows in the little thing to just pull it all the way through when you do it. So I'll forget doing that. There's no point. We'll just do it this way. It works better that way anyways. There we go, another one done. Got one last plug wire to do. That's for the coil itself, but I'm not sure where I'm going to mount that yet, so I haven't really dug into where I'm going to put that. I don't know if it's going to chill back here. Maybe not. Yeah, it's probably not going to work. Thought maybe you could just clamp it right on there. I thought that's probably where it went. Right there, but I don't know. I don't know if I like that. It might work. Yeah, I don't know if I like that yet. That was just the clamp itself, or the bracket. I was kind of, this is the actual coil that we're going to be using. Just not sure if there's a spot I'd like it to go. It's the firewall or hanging off the side of the engine. I think the firewall will probably be better, keep it out of the heat a little more. But I don't know. It might end up just going over here. So I think that's where it was factory anyways, but I got a vacuum line to hook up there first. I still got to find the positive off the car. I have two wires here, both with eyelet connectors on them, but I know one goes to the starter. I don't know what the other one goes to, so I'll have to figure that out. Where is... Yeah, this will probably work for some cleaner. I want to clean the connectors up on that just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now the real challenge is figuring out which one of these was going to the coil and which one of these is going to the starter, or these both go to the starter. I don't know. No idea. Then I got to figure out which side of the starter it goes to if it's just one. Because it could be because they both go to the starter. It could be just one. Not sure because I didn't take this apart. And it's been a minute since I've worked on one of these style engines, so I don't know. I'll have to just figure it out, I guess. Maybe we'll start on the fuel. Hook a fuel line up to the fuel make it happener. Down there we got the mechanical fuel pump. Get a line from there up to the carburetor. I think what I'm going to do, because I can't seem to find a nipple that goes into the carburetor on the other side, I think I might just cut this one and try and figure out a way to make it so that line won't slide off here. I don't like the idea, but I'm kind of running out of options. So if I cut this and maybe figure out a way to maybe just make some groove lines in it or something, so at least it has something to clamp to and doesn't slide off, maybe that'll work. It's only about 6 to 9 psi, I think, on these. So it's not a lot of pressure, but we don't want that fuel line to slip off. That wouldn't be a good day. There we go, that's better. Almost. Gosh, that actually is pretty close like that. I might be able to get a line slipped on there now, just by moving that bracket. Let me just go ahead and put the bolt deal here in and see if we can make this work. As a matter of fact, I think I can get that to work. That's 3/8 line. Yeah, I can get that to work. It's just going to be all the way up like that. And then I should be able to slide a fuel line on there. I want to get a fuel filter in here too right after this, right before it goes into there. So let me find something to tighten that guy down. Okay, I think that might ride. That might actually work out. Not what I was expecting at all. Let's move on to getting the fuel pump nipple hooked up and the fuel line to the fuel pump hooked up. So I'm going to get in over there and see what we can figure out. So right here is a wrench falling to the floor. So right here is my fuel pump and the fuel line that's running from the tank that we have to replace. Oh, I do got the fuel line on there already. Just got to get the clamp on it. I don't like that clamp, so we're gonna put a regular clamp on there. The clamp that's on it now is just one of them squeeze clamps, and those aren't bad, especially if you have them on a plastic like radiator. Like the cars nowadays have plastic radiator connections that you hook it to. Like the old radiators are brass, and they don't really expand as much as plastic does, from what I understand. Don't kill me on that. It's what I heard. So I guess you don't want to use like the little twist down style hose clamps because it doesn't allow for that expansion. But on these, I think it'd be just fine to use a regular hose clamp. I don't know if my fat head's in the way there, but I'm sorry if it is. Probably is. This way. Get it that way. Probably not. I need to do it the other way. Get that power steering pump out of the way here, so I can get down in there better. I might have to go underneath to mess with this. Well, better. I shouldn't say much, but better. I think I should put that in the way. Got a split in the hose. Oh, I don't like that. Clamp it back there. I think it might be a split in the hose. I can get it on there as far as I can. Oh man, that is so close. Should work out. It got pretty late last night. I did as much as I could just trying to get this thing knocked out. I gotta still finish a bunch of stuff, but we're getting there. We gotta get the thermostat housing gasket put in and bolted up, get the radiator hose, the upper radiator hose attached. I did get the belts figured out though. Coil system, got that kind of figured out. It's just going to kind of go over there. I don't really know where else to put it. Still got some wire management to do. We're going to zip tie this up, make that a little bit nicer. But I did get a battery kind of sitting in it. Battery cable there, the ground, it had to be replaced. Still have to hook up the starter, but getting there. I wonder if that hood's going to even clear that alternator. It's kind of an odd position for it, but I think the power steering pump's going to need to be changed a little bit. I found a bracket for it. Show you guys here what I'm talking about. So I kind of found a bracket. I don't think this is the bracket for it, but it's a bracket that was left over from all this stuff. I even painted that pulley there aluminum color, so it kind of matched at least. And that's the bracket there I used. I'm not even sure what that bracket was for, but it worked. So we got that bolted up. Belt's nice and tight. Now the angle on it isn't quite perfect, so it might have to be changed. But got the fan all on there and tightened down. Radiator's in and ready to go. Thermostat's sitting in there. A little rusty looking because it just wipes off. It's obviously sitting around and not cleaned up. So I got to clean the surface of this, get the gasket in there, get the hose on, work on this the starter here. I'm going to reroute the power for the starter for the battery, and then I got to figure out which side of that starter is the one that goes to the ignition and or the key switch. And that other wire, I don't know, it's kind of weird how the system works. Apparently, when you're starting the car, this wire helps provide the coil with 12 volts, and then it runs on 6. That's what it said. I don't know if this has ever been changed to a 12-volt running system. I don't have any idea, but something about the points. They were trying to save on the points, so they were only running that the distributor on these originally with 6 volts. And so this was to help it start, I guess. They put 12 volts to it to help it start. Probably not needed. Something about there's some kind of resistor somewhere or something on that, but we'll hook it up, see how it does. Now I got the throttle linkage bracket here kind of done, so now that way the gas pedal will work. I just got to get it bolted up here, get the spring hooked up. This should stay pretty well. It looks like it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't move anywhere, so that should be fine. And I don't even know what these wires go to yet. Still haven't figured that out. But I think they are force sensors for like dummy lights in the car. So I do have a gauge kit that I gotta get put in here. One of those little 3 gauge deals will get put in here that tells you a voltage, temperature, and oil. But let me get kind of going in here and get this finished up. I think I'll start today with the starter, getting that wired up. And then we'll move on to the thermostat housing. And I don't know what I'm doing with the exhaust yet. Probably going to have to order an exhaust system. So there's the starter wire now, but you can see that's the battery one. And it goes right against this exhaust. So I'm going to reroute it back down here so it comes underneath the motor mount and goes up into there, the opposite direction maybe or something. Then I got to figure out which one of these is the S. No, it's that side. Okay, so thanks for the help there. Thanks for pointing that out. That's the S side. So I wonder if the other side is the... Can't see it. Can you guys see that? Oh, whatever the other one is. Why do they got this big ground thing on here? What's that supposed to be for? Huh. But yeah, first things first, let's get this away from that exhaust. Route it back up under here. Wrap it, yeah, around there somehow. So, okay. So there's that. Got that wire in there. It's kind of running up under here now instead of right across the exhaust there. Didn't realize that was going to be a problem until I got that manifold on. And these two wires, they're just so close to the exhaust too. I'm going to try and reroute them a little bit from above to try to get them out of the way of that exhaust. There might be a heat shield too for this. I can't remember. I'm going to go take a look and see if I can find a heat shield for that. That might help some. And then there's that switch, I think, for the neutral safety switch. But I don't remember seeing any kind of wire and plug. I actually seen one that kind of looks similar. So I'm going to look and see if that's not above and try and get that plugged in. Up here, somewhere, it was on that side. There was a wire that looked like it had that kind of a boot thing around it. I think that one does go around to the transmission, maybe. If that's the case, I don't see how that would ever reach to the plug down there. There's no way. But it does have that shape of little spade plug in there, but I don't know. This don't seem like it is right. But then you can see this one almost has the same thing too. But this one is in the middle. This is the oil pressure sensor. I think goes on the back of the oil filter, but we're going to hook up a gauge set. So there's that. I need to crawl back under there yet. I need to mess with the vacuum for the transmission. And there it is. I have this little rubber hose I want to put on there because the one that's on there is only about 0.5 of an inch long, and that's just not going to work. So we're going to get under there, get this put on, and then get that hooked up to the fuel make it happener. That way you can suck some air. Something about shifting or something. And we still got to put this fuel filter in, and we still got to do the gas tank. The problem with the gas tank is I might have to move this car forward to access it back there a little better. So I may try to get, well, I got to get this hooked up too, but I may try to just get this together up here enough that it's all done and I don't have to go back. I still have to hook up the coil wire too. That's where I put the coil. It's there. I can really find a better spot for it. So hopefully that works good. Got to still get the wire on here, but I might go ahead and try and turn this over just to see if at least we get it to rotate now with the starter. So first things first, I'm going to just try to take the negative and hook it to the battery to make sure the starter don't engage right away, because if it does, we have the wires reversed. So let's see what happens real quick. Okay, nothing. I'm going to go turn the ignition on and just see if anything happens there. Okay, so when I turn the key to start, it does crank over. That's a good sign. Now we just got a few other things to do. So we got it cranking. I got to get these wires kind of rerouted here. I think I might just reroute this back around behind here to give this more slack, and then get those further away, zip tie them back out of the way a little bit so they're not so close to the exhaust. And I thought there was a heat shield. Where did I see that? Probably not. Okay. I actually think this had something to do with the old carburetor, so I don't really think that's necessary. This wire rerouted a little bit. Luckily, just slides on there. And I'm going to probably tape these back. These went to the old carburetor, I think. So I'll probably get some tape and tape that back, make that look a little prettier. Perfect. Just go around this way. This. There. And we're just going to go right here with this for now. Like this. I'm going to try and get some gas into the float bowl here. I think that's where the float bowl is on these. I think that's the vent. We'll give her a little drink. Let's see if we can make some noise. Pour some gas down its yap and see what happens. Oh, you know what? We need to hook up the battery cable. The battery. Okay. Let's see what we get. See if it'll idle. See 2 bolts sitting here I don't want to lose. Ooh, there's actually fuel coming up in that. That's interesting. Let's give it just a little bit more idle. Well, she's getting there. It's because it doesn't have an exhaust on it. Well, there we go. She runs.
Are you talking to the people on the video?
That's right.
Can I say hi? Hi!
There we go. Now it runs. Got a bunch of stuff to button up here.
On the other side.
I got to get this coolant neck hooked up, get the coolant in it. I didn't want to keep running long because of that. Still got to finish the exhaust. Got to change out that gas tank because I don't know if you can see, but it was pulling some yellow, orangish gas out of it, probably mostly rust. But I did want to at least get it fired up, make sure that I had everything good here, which I learned that I did not. It turns out that the spark plug wires with a Pontiac would be one in the back here, but this distributor is so far turned, I guess because of timing, that one it's up here. So we had to redo that. Now none of the wires reach to where they should. So I have to change that. But it runs, so after 30 some years. Top off the transmission fluid, we'll give this thing an oil change, and then it should be ready. There's still lots of work to do yet. I still have brakes to do, a gas tank to put in, and many other things. Stick around for part 2 as we get this thing finished up and driving down the road. If you're still around this long, you might as well go ahead and hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so that way you don't miss it.